Immigration Task Force, a leader in the fight to reform our immigration system, the representative from Texas, Mr. Castro. I yield to the gentleman from Texas.
Thank you, Congressman Polis, and thank you for your leadership on the issue of comprehensive immigration reform. I'm proud to join you and Congressman Garcia from Florida as co-chairs of the New Dem Coalition advocating for comprehensive immigration reform. And as you mentioned, there are very compelling moral and economic reasons for the United States Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform in the year 2014. We know, for example, that there are a handful of American industries, 4 or 5 or 6 major American industries, that literally would not exist the way they do and would not be nearly as productive as they are but for immigrant labor, both legal and undocumented immigrant labor. For example, we know that about 40% of the tech businesses that have been started in Silicon Valley have been started by foreign-born persons, by immigrants. We know, for example, that with respect to the agricultural industry, they self-report that 50% of their workers are undocumented, which probably means that 75% of their workers are undocumented. So on everything from the high-tech industry to the agriculture industry, construction, and other trades, we can appreciate, especially myself coming from the great state of Texas, that does more trade than any other state in the nation, has the longest border with Mexico of any state in the nation. We can appreciate the role that immigrants have played in our society and continue to play in our economy. And I want to share with you, Congressman, just a quick story of an immigrant that I met recently back home in San Antonio, because I know that over the course of this debate, there has been a lot of divisiveness, some disparaging remarks that have been made about immigrants. The overwhelming majority of these folks are not people who come to America to do any harm or to commit crimes. These are people who are fundamentally seeking a better life in the way that throughout the generations people have come here to this country. And so a few months back, right around the time of the government shutdown, I went back home to San Antonio I was home for about 36 hours, and my hair had gotten too long, and so I decided to get a haircut. And it was a Sunday, and the place that I usually go to was closed. So I drove around, and I came to this strip mall, and I was looking for a place that might be open. And I came across this place called J Cuts. And I went inside, and I sat down, and there was a woman who welcomed me into the chair. And she started telling me her story as she was cutting my hair. And she told me the story of how she arrived in the United States. And she said that she had come from Latin America, I guess about 25 years ago, that she had come in a raft of inner tubes across the Rio Grande. And she had ended up marrying, and I imagine marrying an American citizen, becoming a U.S. citizen. And this woman said that she'd worked for a few years cleaning houses and cleaning businesses. She'd been often cheated out of money by her employers. She mentioned that one job that had promised her, $100, or $1,000 turned into $100. And after that, she worked at Fantastic Sam's and Supercuts, a few haircutting chains, and that's how she learned how to speak English. But the long and short of it is, eventually, this woman, Ms. Gonzalez, came to own her own hair salon, became an entrepreneur, and was now employing other people. And she said that her brothers, who had also immigrated, also were business owners now. And so those are very promising and not atypical stories of immigrants who come here and are very productive members of our society and who have a lot to contribute. It's been my hope throughout this debate that in the rhetoric that comes out of the United States Congress, that we will realize and acknowledge that immigrants play such an important role in the life of our nation, and that they always have. That this is a nation of immigrants, continues to be a nation of immigrants. And I would also say that there is a scarier day in America than a time when everybody wants to come here. The scarier day is a time when nobody wants to come here.